Hi, my name is Sean, and I'm making this video as sort of a background as to my creation for my channel, Rise of the Ginger Count. Basically, in this video, I'm going to be dealing with some of my battles dealing with depression and anxiety and surviving a suicide attempt. Just basically mental health awareness and hopefully trying to make healthier choices for yourself along the way. So basically, my story is basically when I was a kid, I was bullied from roughly age 8 to 16 pretty intensely on a daily basis, being physically attacked, emotionally attacked, verbally attacked, basically to the point where I didn't want to wake up in the morning because I was scared of what was going to happen to me. My family had tried to deal with the authorities. Most of it was basically just excused away as kids being kids because this was taking place in the 1980s, and there was no real help or support for this. And I'm sure that there's lots of people who are in my age bracket now, which is in the 40 somethings, even with even within a decade or so, who may have gone through similar treatment. One of the things that people say is that you gotta stand up to your bullies. I attempted to stand up to my bullies, but I didn't have just one person I was fighting. I was fighting lots and lots of kids. And basically, when I did stand up, it didn't do anything. It just added more people to come after me. One occasion that I recall was I was going into high school, and the city I lived, and I was trying to navigate my high school in the way to avoid as many people as possible so I could get from class to class and at least try and make it through the day without being attacked or abused or whatever. Anyways, one day a couple of guys came and took my hat and my books, and I was trying to fight back to get them from these guys, and it ended up that a teacher interceded, and the teacher proceeded to say we need to go down to the office to talk to the principal. The guys took my hat and books and threw them down a big set of stairs that we were at the top of. As I went down to go get them, one of the guys kicked me in the jaw, and I fell down the stairs. The teacher laughed with the two guys who had hit me. And I was brought to the principal's office, and I was suspended, and that just basically added more fuel to the fire for everyone else who picked on me and attacked me and abused me and all that kind of stuff. So it was really not a fun experience. As I say, as a kid, when you're thinking about wanting to die as an answer to a life you can't understand, as I said, it started when I was roughly about 8 years old. I didn't understand why these people hated me so much. I didn't understand the concept of bullying, or the concept of why bullying happens. I didn't understand. I was an 8-year-old kid, and I couldn't understand why they hated me so much. I also didn't understand myself as an empath. Understanding my gifts also, I'm sure, singled me out to be a victim. And again, with the bullying, it wasn't just one person doing it. It was tons and tons and tons of kids who got off on it or whatever. And it was not fun. It was not a fun experience. And I know people say, just get over it. But it seems, and maybe this is just me, it's just my perspective, but it feels like a lot of times the victim is persecuted by their bullies or their attackers or the perpetrators or whatever, and then the system will attack the victim too. And that's what I felt. So I didn't have any support, and that's why as a little kid I wanted to die. I saw death as the only way out, and I was too scared to do anything about ending my life at the time. But those feelings and that darkness and that self-loathing that grew out of all of the bullying and the abuse was carried into my adult life, so that I carried it into my career, taking jobs that were conflict oriented, and having relationships with ladies where you're attracting broken souls or broken people, and there's a few times of abuse, being abused by partners I was with, and again, it was all reiterating and feeding into this negative narrative that I had built up from my bullying as a kid, being bullied as a kid, that I was worthless, that I was useless, that I was a failure, that I was a burden, that I was deserving of hate and fury and abuse and all this other stuff, that I didn't deserve love and I didn't deserve goodness. I didn't, for most of my life, I couldn't look in the mirror and accept who I was. I hated the person that looked back at me in the mirror, because what I felt inside was not the person or thing that was looking back at me. And so I spent a good couple of decades here living in depression and anxiety that were built up from traumas as a kid, and led to a situation basically where the darkness and everything finally caught up with me, and I attempted suicide. By whatever faith or religion or belief that you have, it was a miracle, and I'm still here. And I can remember even in the last moments as I had taken the decision at first, the whole reason I thought that I was going to end it was because I was a burden on my family and my friends and people I cared about, and I was a loser, and I was ugly, and no one could love me, no one could want me, so why am I here? And I never conceived how much trying to kill myself would hurt the people that did care about me and had been there with me and supported me. I had no clue of it, because all I could see was that I was a burden and a failure, and I didn't deserve to live. And so I tried to kill myself. And I remember as I was losing consciousness, the fear of realizing of what I've done and now I can't take it back, and basically feeling my life seep away from me was one of the most difficult things I can say I've gone through. Somehow I survived, miracle or whatever you want to call it, and I've worked hard since to battle and understand my depression and to understand my anxiety, trying to find ways to make peace with my past, to forgive myself and forgive those who hurt me, and because carrying the hate and carrying the anger and carrying the pain, it's not easy. It's not something that you can just wash away. I know a lot of people, or some people, would just get over it. Just get over it. It doesn't really work that way. Trauma and pain, and especially when you've built years of self-loathing, it's not so easy to do that. Thankfully, my family have been supportive. My friends have been supportive, and been there for me. And I'm so grateful and thankful for them. But the point I'm at now is I'm 8 years removed from my suicide as of June of 2020. So right now this is February of 2020. So it's almost 8 years for me surviving my suicide attempt. Since that time, I've had a couple of really deep falls into depression again, where suicidal thoughts were occurring. Thankfully, I've been able to fight those off, and thankfully, I've been able to work through with my depression and with my anxiety with help from my therapist and psychiatrist, and support from my family and friends, and trying to do new things and new approaches in my life. One of the things I've been really working on as of late is working on my chakras, working on my root and sacral and heart chakras, and I'm finding that it's making a difference. Placebo effect or whatever you want to call it, it's seeming to work. So I'm trying to do deep meditations every day and trying to work on my affirmations, both for my chakras and just for my everyday life, and working on embracing myself and embracing my gifts and embracing my uniqueness, and embracing myself and my soul. And it's not always easy. Every day is a challenge, or can be a challenge, and depression and anxiety are always just one snap of your fingers away. So the biggest thing is trying to keep steady and looking in the mirror and appreciating and embracing the person who looks back at you, not hating them or despising them or wanting them dead. So there's more I can go on, but I don't want to make a hour-long video about it, so I'll just wrap up with saying that I hope if you find this video and you're in a dark place and you're hurting and your mind is tricking you and your narrative is telling you that you don't deserve it, and you don't deserve love, and you don't deserve happiness, you don't deserve goodness, that you're a burden or you're a failure or you're a loser or anything like that. If you have real life people telling you this, don't believe them, don't listen to them, please. We need your light in this world. The world has enough darkness and evil and hate in it. You don't need losing your light to be added to that darkness. You're worthy of being loved. You're worthy of being accepted. You're worthy no matter what people say, and no matter how people may treat you. You're deserving of being loved and cared about. You're worthy of help and deserving of help. So if you're hurting, reach out. I know it's not easy, and I know it's very difficult. It's one of the most difficult things you can do, but you're worth it. And I hope that you can take this message and understand that you're not alone. No matter what your brain tells you, no matter what your narrative tells you, it's not real. The real narrative is that you belong here and you deserve to be here, and you have every right to be here. You have a right to make a difference, and you have a right to be happy and to live a life of abundance and love and goodness. And I hope and wish that for all of you. And if you've taken the time to watch this video and get through to the end, I'm so grateful, thankful for your time. And I hope that if it doesn't resonate fully to you, or maybe it resonates to someone you know, take the time to reach out to them. If you know that someone's hurting or in battling the darkness or demons, try and reach out to them. Try and let them know that they're loved and they're cared about, and that they're worthy of being here and being a light in this world. You never know just what kind of acts of kindness and love can really do. You may not be able to save the world, but if you can save the world for one person, that's an amazing gift to be given. So anyways, I'm going to be making other videos, maybe, here and there, touching on my history, my background and stuff, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of an understanding of where I'm coming from and why I'm making my channel. And there'll be hopefully some fun stuff coming along too. I'll be trying to do my tarot reading and working on my tarot gifts and intuitive and empathic gifts, and be sharing some fun things I hope that you can enjoy. And I hope that and wish that all of you, no matter where you are, how you're feeling, if you're happy or you're hurting or whatever it may be, please know you're worth it. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of goodness. You're worthy of happiness. You're worthy of hope. And that no one has the right to take that from you. So please take care of yourself. Thank you again for watching my video. If you like the video or have any comments for my video, please feel free to share them, and maybe even consider subscribing to my channel if you don't mind. Otherwise, I wish you all the blessings of abundance and happiness and love in all your days ahead. Thank you again. Take care.